Hey there, chart friends. Lamont here from Chart Guys, checking in on the the electric vehicle sector. Oops. And plug. So Tesla had a strong day today, even though it was an inside bar today, and a lot of names saw bounce or some gains. And Tesla just had an inside bar. Yesterday the market was not terribly strong, and Tesla held up. So relatively, it's still quite strong, right? It's an all-time highs. So anyway, we're just watching the potential here, right? I mean, yeah, I care mostly about this channel, this big old channel here, and I would prefer for it to get up here if I was gonna try to get Q with a short. But it's hard to ignore this like local trend line, right? It's just it's acting very strong. So I don't really want to make a play off of it just because I don't know. I mean, it is a lot of extension, but I don't know. I would just prefer everything at my back. Like I would prefer this macro structure to be supportive as well. Just like with the rut. Recently I took a short off the rut because I felt good about this macro structure. It's been like its entire existence. So I was just I don't know. I felt okay looking for it there, and it was fine. It was a good short, but obviously today I'm happy I closed some of that out. But yeah, my point is, I like it's kind of doing something similar. Let's see, the rut. I mean, was kind of doing something similar here, right? Where the deviation band was sort of acting as soft resistance, and I just wouldn't like that as much, right? Up here, I felt a lot better about it, right? If that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, leave me a comment. I will get back to you, or PM me if you are a member. All right. So anyway, we had this inside bar today. We are looking for the potential of this back test here. Well, I mean, this is really just for a daily higher low, right? And this is probably a little bit too deep now, honestly. We want to see, although with this much upside with no consolidation, you could get a really quick liquidity break, right? So let's see here. Nah, that's about right still. All right, I'm usually a bit too conservative, so something like that. I really doubt it sets up tomorrow. It'd be an absolute waterfall tomorrow. I'd like it even more if they just waterfall it down, but I doubt it. The Bears will likely have to step in tomorrow. And well, I mean, first things first, they gotta change the hourly trend. So I'm not even gonna talk about that. But the hourly trend is still very healthy, and we're just looking for an hourly higher low. Anything over 719.20 will be one. And so if you're looking for that tomorrow, then you want to just be looking down here, right? You'd be bottom fishing these supports. All right. Well, let me mark it up. Excuse me. Well, call it that maybe. Right. So essentially, you'd be bottom fishing this EQ low. It pretty much looks like an hourly EQ, right? I suppose it could be an Adam and Eve, but for now, we just assume as long as the market, especially if the market stays strong, that Tesla is likely to hold up. It's more likely to hold up, right? So get a zone of interest that covers the entire area, and so we'd be looking for something like that. And if it were to get all the way down there, maybe we just look for a lower high to remain in this EQ, right? So 5-minute oversold while looking for that hourly higher low into all of these supports. And there's very little support, up here. If you want it to be more conservative, you could use like this level and extend the range a bit if you wanted. It's whatever, dealer's choice, right? So that's what we're looking out for, just that hourly trend. And if the Bears are able to show up tomorrow, if they're able to defend this high here of 740.84 and punch below this low, and ideally they'll confirm under both of these lows, so that's 718.03 and 719.20. They can defend this high here, break those lows, then they'll have taken the hourly trend, and finally we'll be looking for that daily higher low with anything over 614.23 being one. I know there's a little rinky-dink one. I don't love it. Don't love that one. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so Neil, let's see. We can probably kill this one now, although the backtest play is definitely on the table. All right, so I guess we won't kill it for now. I know it looks a little busy, but just bear with me, please. I guess we don't need this so much. It might come back into play. I'll hide it. Because maybe we're just going sideways, right? Maybe this is maybe we'll see a rejection here, and if that's the case, then maybe we'll just go sideways, kind of like workhorse, right? Which I guess we'll get to. But as of right now, NIO looks really strong, right? Near the all-time high. Came back to test this ADMA. This is just the R side, man. Came back to test the ADMA, just grinded it, right? This is the ideal situation when price kind of just falls and then goes, or just goes sideways, and the EMA catches up and just kind of scoops it up. That's ideal. You know, when it pulls back to the EMA, it's a lot more questionable. You know, like here, right? When it pulls down to the EMA, you don't have to see that, right? But if it's just going sideways and then EMA catches up, usually that's a much better look. Anyway, so no daily higher lows since 42.23. Bulls still in full control, even though you kind of had a sideways day, but it was a green day, right? So bulls came up, defended the low after breaking it briefly. Hourly time frame it was a confirmed hourly downtrend, but now we've had this big old bounce, and I think we've already set this higher low here. Let's double check. Yes, you could say that. I mean, it's not terribly convincing. Again, it's only one little pullback, but I feel like that's good enough given the context. But anyway, the hourly trend is healthy. It's relatively healthy, right? We had this bear break with no follow into a bounce over that previous lower high, and now it looks like we set this higher low here. So ideally, the bulls will show up and defend this low of 52.45 tomorrow and break over 53.75. If the bears, however, are able to show up and defend this high of 53.75 and break under 50.40, then we'll be looking for that daily higher low with, again, anything over 42.23 being one. All right, and we're just watching the potential for, I guess, no, we're just watching the potential for this, right? So let me just clean up the chart a little bit. So this channel has contained structure fairly well for a long time. It's for this entire leg, really, for this entire weekly move from this last higher low. This channel did a good job of containing it. So I'm curious to see what happens here. If you remember, I took a short off of here and it was a little dicey. I was scaling in on these 2 days into this third day, and finally it worked out. So that was fine. I was just looking for that daily higher low. Everything went to plan there, and this was a lot more strength than I anticipated. Honestly, on this day, I cut most of it somewhere down here, and then by the end of the day, somewhere in there, I was like, man, that's just too strong, and I just cut the rest. And I'm happy with it, whatever. Even if I got stopped out there, I wouldn't have minded. My point is, though, that this previous support line, not only now has it proven itself over here, right, where this is the original pivot where you would have it drawn, and then it proved itself as a short-term support here, right? It bounced from here to there, and then it was acted as resistance. So I'm interested to see, because you have confluence here. You have this all-time high resistance, and you have this previous trend line. Support, now resistance or likely resistance, so if you're gonna go short on a blue sky bull, it doesn't really get much better than this. Like, maybe there's some divergence. Let's see. Not really. Nope. Yeah, so not, it's still dicey, right? Whenever you're shorting a blue sky bull, it's always dicey. Anyway, so you can be looking out for that if you are looking to be kind of aggressive. I was more inclined to take this one just because there was all this price action as well here, right? There were like 3 or 4 daily tops, but also it was like 4 or 6 hourly tops. Okay, so context, right? Context is very important for these trades. Anyway, that being said, I think it's a reasonable trade to take up there. It's just a little bit riskier. All right, so I think that about covers NIO. Yep, if the bears can take that hourly trend tomorrow, we'll just be looking for that daily higher low. All right, so workhorse pretty much just doing what it's been doing, just hanging out, going sideways. It has been grinding the middle area of this range for weeks now. Well, I shouldn't count that one, but after they defended it, it's just been grinding it for 4 trading weeks, so an entire month of trading. Anyway, now I've seen some follow through. I believe this trade was set up on Thursday of last year. I forget. I'll have to look back. But approaching the target, I don't anticipate to break to higher highs right away, and that's why this target was set for a lower high. And if you look left, you can see many tops are put in here on the hourly time frame. All of these wicks are pivots, right? And if you look left, there are more. So that's why that target is just a little bit shy of the lower high. If you're very ambitious, you can go there. But I mean, even from here, the RR was 3.5 already, right? So yeah. And so what are we looking for potential trades? There's probably an hourly higher low play maybe on deck tomorrow. Yes, there absolutely is an hourly higher low play on deck tomorrow, because I mean, we've changed hourly trend. This is just regular trading hours. I don't have any extended hours on. I prefer it like this because I typically am swinging. So we have this higher low, broke to higher highs, and then we just haven't had any hourly consolidation since this last hourly higher low here at 1991. So whenever we start pulling back, which maybe they've already changed the 5-minute trend, the bears, I mean, no, actually, wow, they have yet to confirm a 5-minute downtrend. But if they do confirm a 5-minute downtrend tomorrow and have the bulls start looking for that hourly higher low over 1991, then we'll just be looking in the 5-minute, right? 5-minute oversold conditions again. By now, if you've been watching these videos, I imagine you know what I'm gonna say, most of the time at least. And then let's take a look at this. It's a little aggressive. Oops. But I think it's valid. Maybe something like that. I like that. Right? It's very choppy here, so it's kind of hard to say, but the 5-minute would be very extended if it got all the way down there. So it's just giving yourself a bit of wiggle room. And I kind of feel like with such a strong defense of this zone that you'll probably get one of these shallow things, if anything. So now that we look back and see that it can do that, kind of get into this, maybe we'll be a little bit more conservative, right? And maybe we can use this last one as a final fill area, that the trade looks something like this, and I think that's fine. Right, so you get 2 to 1 just looking for a lower high. And you can expand it, whatever. If you want to be more aggressive, no problem. It's not going to make that much of a difference onto your RR. It's still going to be roughly 2 to 1, 2 to 1 or better. Okay. So looking for that hourly higher low tomorrow on Workhorse, and if you're targeting it, just looking for that lower high. Bottom fish play. Now that being said, if you see a continuation tomorrow, aggressive bears can be shorting too, right? Off of this 24.54 level. Yeah, you can be looking short too. If they just start pushing up like right away, especially, right? If there's just no consolidation, if they go sideways all night, and then they just open strong, and we just push right up into here and get the hourly extended into where all these pivots have occurred, right? There's one. I just drop a line here, and then we can see. Okay, there's reaction. There's a good one. Yeah, this is good. I feel like reasonable. Plus this local price action. I feel like I typically like to weigh the local price action a little bit more. Right, so give yourself some wiggle room, and then maybe there's even a short here, right? So something for everybody. And Workhorse has been very range bound. So a very patient short will probably look to wait up here. But your call, dealer's choice. Well, I mean, the market's a dealer, but whatever. Okay, so short, not quite yet getting to targets, but I mean, already given you lots of opportunity to take profit, right? Protect these plays. It's like 10% already. So, if you've not done so, I definitely, man, do it. Just do it. After hours still open, you can do it right now. Just protect your positions, right? Anyway, so XPEV, we are looking for a daily higher low. Anything over 3750 will be one. I would not be surprised if this level got tested again, especially in conjunction with this trend line. Yeah. So let's see. I would play that again. Something down there. A lot of range. I don't hate it. Essentially, it would be a back test of the trend line, hourly oversold conditions, and a really deep higher low in the hopes of basing, right? Ideally, you just get some basing here. Right, so it's since we just got rejected from this lower high here, it's kind of not that it's a tall order, but a bull would take it if we can just go sideways for a bit, consolidate, build up some volume here, and then make our way back up there. Get some accumulation going or whatever. Just build some support down here. It's already kind of being established. That's why we have that green box down there. It's just covering these highs, this last little higher low before the rip up. Obviously, it was I think we had to play there at least. I believe so. Yes, I believe so. Anyway, so it essentially would be just another play off that same price action level. Just anticipating more value to be established here. I wouldn't be surprised by this. It's like maybe fill this out. That's very speculative though. This the volume filling out. It's kind of odd. I wouldn't be surprised. The big old EQ. All right. So plug shaking out okay. Oh, exactly what exactly what we were talking about, right? With that price action trend change. The context of it being kind of okay, right? Where, yes, we acknowledged yesterday that if we were to get fills down here, that would be a daily trend change. But we were also being mindful that we have this previous consolidation area to offer support, that we are also off the 21 EMA, and yeah, I don't know. It just it's different, right? Like if this structure was all the way up here, then yeah, we probably don't want to buy that break because we can maybe get all the way back down to the median line. But here, knowing that we're like right floating above, it's a little bit more questionable, because also like the RR for the bear play there is not as good as the lower high was there. Anyway, so shook out okay, I guess. I think there's enough potential for that's plenty of time to potentially take some profit, and it looks like the higher low and hourly higher low was already set here. Yeah, 5-minute trend change into the end of day to confirm that little hourly higher low. So tomorrow, ideally, the bulls will hold this 32.05 level, break to higher highs over 33.09 to see some more daily bounce follow through, and look up at 34.92 resistance. I don't really love trades over here, because that. Well, I mean, I guess if we come back deeper to keep looking for that hourly higher low, then that'd be fine. Let's see. Yeah. Also, it's got like this back test of this channel over here. I mean, the trend line. And we can probably give it a bit more range, more margin of error, right? Something like that is very reasonable in my opinion. And you can, you can open it up if you want. Not going to change the RR very much. Okay. Alrighty, so I think that covers it. That about covers it. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all soon.